Hello everybody, good evening and welcome to the United Stand. This is your latest Manchester United news and transfer news. We're going to be talking about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, we're going to be talking about Manchester United, and we're going to be talking about, what I want to do tonight is really get into this. I want to try and understand why so many people are Ole Gunnar Solskjaer out. I really want to get into that tonight, but I have been talking to my guy. People say, when was the last time you spoke to my guy? I have spoken to him this afternoon about the Jadon Sancho situation at Manchester United and the transfer situation at Manchester United. And what I've been told is that Jadon Sancho to Manchester United in the next week is inevitable. It's inevitable. And we'll be talking about why as well. I just wanted to give a big shout out. People can do it as well. I just want to give a big shout out to Dara O'Donoghue, who is smashing it out in Australia. Big up to you, fella. Hope you're doing well. And thanks for being a watcher of the show. You can thank your brother Danny for that. Khaled Al Yazeri, latest member of the United Stand Members Club. Big shout out at you. But yeah, Dara, hope you're doing well. And a big shout out to you as well. And thanks for your ongoing support of watching the United Stand from down under. Australia, that is. Nothing sinister, Australia. But let's get on with the show. I really want to get into a lot of things tonight. I really want to, I don't want to be, I don't want the Glazers to be in charge of Manchester United, but I don't want to be, let's get everyone together and get the Glazers out. I will get behind anything, you know that. I will get this community behind it if it wants to get behind it. But, I'm not arrogant enough to think that we don't need the Manchester United Supporters Trust. We don't need the Red Army. We don't need all the big local fans. We don't need all the fanzines. They need to pick up the phone. They need to, and use us for that. I've always said that. But what I want to do with our community is I don't want us to be divided. I don't want us to be against Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I don't want us to be against the team. I want to be us together, because I think the big evil here is the board. And we can talk about that in a moment. But let me give you this news about Jadon Sancho. So I spoke to my guy this afternoon. He's given me information over the last couple of years. And what he said to me is that a Jadon Sancho transfer is inevitable for Manchester United. And his words were, a transfer is inevitable. They're working on the transfer. They've never stopped working on the transfer. And also that it's inevitable. You look at what's happening at Manchester United. You look at the pressure on the board. You look at the pressure on Woodward and Matt Judge. You look at the pressure on the Glazers, and you look at that pressure that is now seeping into Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as well. Whether that's right or wrong, we'll talk about it in a moment. And Manchester United know that this deal is the deal they need. Today's result was a godsend for them. It was undeserved. It was undeserved. Whether you celebrated it or not, I don't understand people who don't celebrate it, to be honest with you, but we'll talk about that in a minute. But it was a godsend for Manchester United because they didn't deserve it. And even Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said they didn't deserve it after the game, which we'll talk about. So they didn't deserve it, and they got 3 points. And they all know within that club that won't continue without actually getting the transfers that needed to happen before. Jadon Sancho lost today. Dortmund lost to Augsburg 2-0. And I think they were at home as well. Dortmund ain't doing anything this season. They're not winning the Bundesliga. They're not getting anywhere in it. Unfortunately for them, they play in a league that has the best team in the world by a very, very long way. And Dortmund are not equipped to get anywhere near it. And Sancho knows that. And Dortmund know that. And Dortmund also know that this world that we live in is a very weird one. And that they are and have I was told today is there's a considerable amount of money on the table for Jadon Sancho. And United want him, and Sancho wants to come to United, and Dortmund know all of this, and there is a big pile of money there. Now, that money may not be £100 million outright. It may not be the 108 million that they've said they've always wanted, but it ain't far off what they want, and it can be constructed to benefit everybody. And it's inevitable that deal will happen. Sancho wants to go. Dortmund cannot offer something to Sancho this year that he hasn't done before. I mean, look, it's like going, look at this brilliant birthday cake. It's the same one you had the last couple of years. So it's inevitable this will happen, and it will happen in the next few days. And that's what I've been told today. So look, that's going to be a big boost for all you negative people. And that's why today's result for me was so important. When that equaliser went in for Brighton, I fell in my chair. Because I understand this situation. I understand that we are absolutely fighting fights with a breadstick instead of a sword. And we can go into why in a minute. Hi, Matter for Director of Football. He's faster than a negotiation, says Marcus Purcell. Welcome to the Members Club, Khalid and Carl Freddy And also to all the Ollie haters, given the right tools and trust the process, he will do a good job. He proved he can do well if provided with the tools, says Ram. And I love the channel, Mark. Big love from Belfast, says Philip Burton. Well, big love to all you lot on a Saturday night. I want to try and bring a bit of positivity, and I want to try and understand the people who are negative, because I think that's really important. It is really important. But look, let me just finish up with this news. So, told today by my guy that a Jadon Sancho transfer to Manchester United is inevitable in the next few days. It has to happen. The club know it needs to happen. Sancho wants it to happen. And Dortmund realise it needs to happen. And with all those things in there, he said, it's inevitable it will happen because United need it. Sancho needs it. Solskjaer needs it. And Manchester United need it. And when all those things come into place, Manchester United will do the deal because they know they need to do the deal. And what he also said to me is, imagine a world where they don't do this deal. The fan base is pissed off. The manager is pissed off. Sancho is pissed off. And United are miles off. He said pissed, miles. And then off was after all of it. He said to not do it is just, it makes no... He said the most important thing is it doesn't make business sense. They can talk about COVID, and they're valid to talk about COVID, because I mentioned that. I said, what about this COVID thing? You know, we're not getting fans in the ground. They're losing all this money. And he said, look, from a business point of view, you're losing money. Okay, I take that on board. But from a business point of view, Jadon Sancho will boost the club. He will make them better. There is a real opportunity there. Look at what Chelsea have done tonight. There's a real opportunity there for Manchester United to make a statement, to get a buzz around the club, and to really, build something that people can get excited about. And, you said, you can talk about fans not going to the ground, and you're talking about losing money, but they're losing their fan base. And when you lose your fan base, you lose money anyway. And how much do you put a value on that? And also, this is their priority signing that they actually want to do. He said the most important thing here is Solskjaer wants it, Sancho wants it, but Manchester United actually really want it as well. The Glazers want it. Ed Woodward wants it. They do want this deal. And it's inevitable. So let's see what's going to happen over the next few days. Mark, I think the problem is you're asking to board to buy Ollie into being a good manager. If you spend 80 million on centre-backs, 100 million on right wingers, you can't go wrong, says Joshua Harper. And also, I was shocked to see what Wan-Bissaka was playing in the last 20 minutes, says Mojo. I'm seeing Sky Sports pushing this Sancho is only willing to come to United. Any reason why they seem to be peddling this? Ollie in, board out. Says CRCL20. Thank you and welcome to the Members Club, Mickey. And Benjamin Springer says 7. A lot of people are saying 7. I presume they're saying 7 because of Jadon Sancho, which I will take as a positive. So, how are we all feeling this evening? I mean, I've watched all the fan cams. I hope you have as well. Player ratings with Flex and the lads. I've seen Ricky. I saw the show after mine. I've watched my match reaction back. Joshua Harper says, Mark, how will Sancho help United control the midfield? How will he stop us conceding goals? Shiny new Galactico signings aren't always the solution, says Joshua Harper. And, well, you know what? Look, I want to get into this. I want to get into this. There's a few things I want to say. I saw somebody on Twitter today. I'm not going to name them because I can't remember who it was. And they said, if we're still playing average football by December, Ollie's got to go. And I just thought, you know what? The thing that struck me today, and there's a few things that struck me today now I've calmed down. The thing that struck me today was that this Manchester United side is the team from June and July. And in June and July, we were very impressed with what the results that team got, but we said it can't get close to a title and it can't do better than what it's doing because it doesn't have a bench and it will get tired and it's the same team. And actually, we're in a worse situation now because we're playing with the same team from June or July. There's still no bench, there's still no evolution, there's still no improvement on the holes that needed to be filling, and actually teams know how we play as well. We've not evolved, and I find the hypocrisy a little bit hard to swallow because if you are a football team from last season and you go into this season expecting the same things to happen, you are going to have the same things happening. Teams are going to figure you out. Where is the evolution? Where is the progress? All we are actually at the moment is a team that was worse in June and July because some of our players are not match fit and some of our players are not up to it at the moment for various reasons. Wan-Bissaka, Paul Pogba being prime examples of that. We have not given our manager anything better than what he had in June, July. We're the same team we were in June, July, but we're actually worse than we were in June, July because some of those players that were playing well then are not playing well now. So why is it a surprise that we're not doing particularly well? The manager has not been backed. And that has caused a massive knock-on effect for United. But on top of that, Lampard has played 3 games. He lost to Liverpool, he beat Brighton, and he's got a lucky point tonight. A good point against West Brom, but they're 3-0 down. Now, Frank Lampard has been backed by his manager, and they are probably... I think Chelsea have done too much business. I said this. I think they've done too much business. I think it's disrupted the team too much. I think in time they will become good, but they're almost starting again. I didn't want Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to get the backing of what Chelsea and Lampard have got. I think that's too much. Chelsea fans wouldn't complain about signing loads of players, but I think it's too many. I think United needed 1 or 2 players. They needed a centre-back, a right winger, and a midfielder. We got the midfielder, who doesn't even start and can't even come on for the obvious signing today. But we haven't got the right winger and we haven't got the centre-back. And I think that is still, to me, the biggest issue that we've got at United right now, is that this team has not evolved from last season and it still has got major issues. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's points after the game, I want to take some of yours, but Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's... some of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's comments were like this. Speaking about Wan-Bissaka, he said, he practices defending the back stick. He's a joy to work with. He wants to learn. He'll improve. We don't stop enough crosses down the left-hand side, and we allow too many crosses in. It's always also down to the team shape and the sharpness. For me, we need to work more from the sides to stop crosses. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, absolutely spot on with that. He also said that in the central defence area, he'll address this transfer window. We've got we've got many good defenders here. Eric Bailly, I put him on to bolster the defence, follow the runs of Trossard and Morpé. For me, we've got enough centre backs at the moment. I don't think we have. I think he's wrong on that. When you don't concede chances and goals, there's 2 things you can look at. It's the team. When you do concede chances and goals, there's 2 things you look at. Team shape or individual mistakes. For me, we're not in our best shape of form. Our shape isn't there. We're not sharp enough to get out and stop crosses. He also said about Pogba, we missed a lot of pre-season games because of his illness. He hasn't had internationals or the friendly against Villa. Of course, the 60 to 65 minutes he's had will help him. He'll just get better and better. And he also said that there was something else that he said. The reaction to both goals was brilliant. Exactly. We've worked hard. We're nowhere near the fitness levels yet, and you can see that Brighton were fitter than us, but they are actually one of the teams in the league who run the most, so we knew it'd be difficult for us. We're not there yet. Now, you're not going to like that. You're not going to like that. And I said it after the game we lost to Crystal Palace, and I said it after the game today. To me, visibly, we're not sharp. We're nowhere near sharp. The passing is off. The sharpness is off. And this is because we're not prepared. We played against Sevilla in mid-August. People went on holiday to Greece and wherever. They came back. They had 2 weeks, 1 pre-season friendly, and everyone else started a week ahead of us. We're not there yet. And I agree with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Whether you like him or not, I agree. We're not there yet on fitness. We haven't brought the players in that we needed to bring in. And to me, I'm not surprised we're not playing particularly well. But let me just say this. The thing is, Sancho is now or never. We can always sign a good centre-back next summer, but we'll never have an opportunity to sign Sancho again, says LXDXC. I agree with that. I love Ollie and Stokes we won, but why were fullbacks so narrow? Why Pogba ahead of Donny? Why Fred on for Pogba when he finally came off, says Core. And we don't have constant patterns of play. It seems we just make it up as we go along. That's what worries me, says Red Baron. And I'm backing Ollie, but the coaches behind him need to be changed. Ollie has brought the Sir Alex culture back to the club, but coaching staff needs to be changed, says Vijaya. And I think that's a very intelligent thing. And I've seen that cropping up on Twitter a lot today. People actually taking it away from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and talking about the coaches. I think this is really intelligent because I actually think that these people who call Ollie a Wally or Ollie a PE teacher actually expose themselves as being a little bit naive when it comes to football knowledge. And I'll tell you for why. Sir Alex Ferguson was a man manager. He was a motivator and he was a man manager. He wasn't a coach. His coaches were people like Steve McLaren, Rennie Mullenstein, Carlos Queiroz. These were the people who organised all the training and all the coaching on the training sessions. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is not the guy organising all the training and all the coaching. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is a man manager. And I'll tell you for why Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is succeeding and maybe there's a question mark on the coaching. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is succeeding because all those players play for that manager. Whether it's Bruno Fernandes, Marcus Rashford, Anthony Martial, Paul Pogba, they play for that manager. And you know why they play for that manager? Because when you have fought really hard in a game where you've not played very well, and you are 2-1 up, going into 5 minutes of stoppage time, and 4.5 minutes in you concede, your heads drop and you think, oh God, this season's just going to be a catastrophe. But what do? Do your heads drop or do you lift your heads and go, let's go for it? You go for it, you win a corner, you get a penalty and you win. That's a strong mentality. It's a poor performance, but it's a strong mentality, and it displays a team that's playing for its manager, and it also displays a team that's got a strong mentality. The manager's job is, in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he's a man manager, he's a motivator, and he's got his players playing for him. There is definitely a coaching question mark, and I agree with that. But to put it all on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I think is incorrect if you understand how a football club is won. Pep Guardiola is a very hands-on coach, but he will have coaches around him. Jurgen Klopp is more of a man motivator. He's, less of a, he's got coaches around him. And this is what modern day management is all about. So maybe we need to look at the coaching side of things if you're going to address that. However, what I would say about that as well is, since Bruno Fernandes came into this team, in the Premier League at the end of January, we have won 10 games, we have drawn 5 games, and we have lost 1 game. The one game we've lost in the Premier League out of the last 16 is Crystal Palace at home, where we'd had no pre-season and half of our team was playing its first game. And, to be honest, a bit of a contentious penalty decision. Look, I'm not taking nothing away from Palace. They deserve to beat us. That's the one game we've lost in the Premier League since the end of January. To say Ole Gunnar Solskjaer out, to say he's a Wally, to say he's a PE teacher, when he's won 10 of our last 16 Premier League games, he's drawn 5 of them and he's only lost 1. To me, it's odd. I actually feel sorry for people, but I want to get into this. I do want to get into it because I think there's a lot of evidence out there that actually he's doing a good job. He's just not being backed and not being allowed to evolve and not being allowed to progress this team that actually did quite well last season. And also, I actually feel sorry for people who are Ole Gunnar Solskjaer out, because I remember the day I was Mourinho out, I remember being Van Gaal out, and I remember those 3 or 4 months before it happened. The blood pressure's high, you're feeling very angry, you want to lash out, you're not celebrating an amazing football spectacle today. I mean, for me as a Manchester United fan, I've been talking to people in the pub tonight, I've been talking to everybody, I was like, you wouldn't believe it. And they've been captivated by the story, not because they're Man United fans, but because they're like, oh my God, 30-second, last kick of the game, I was like, it's unbelievable. I can't wait for match of the day tonight. Unbelievable. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. And there's people who are United fans who are like, no, I didn't celebrate. I didn't celebrate because we played so bad. And I'm like, oh God, I feel sorry for you. I actually feel sorry for you. You are that wrapped up in whatever your feelings are that you can't celebrate our football club winning a football game like that. That's the beauty of football. Forget the wider game. That's the beauty of football. But also I feel sorry for you because I don't think the Ollie out agenda's even, I don't think it's even got wings. I just don't see it. It's not going to happen. You're going to put yourself through this negative feeling for a very long time. He ain't getting sacked anytime soon. I'm telling you now. Christmas at earliest. No, not a chance is he going before then. No way. You might be Ollie out. There's a hell of a lot of people who are Ollie in. A hell of a lot of people who are Ollie in. And he's loved and he is a legend. And if he gets sacked before Christmas, there will be a revolt. They won't do it. So you're actually putting yourself through something that I think is wrong, but I also think is going to hurt you. And I feel sorry for you for that. I actually want you to get behind the manager. I want you to be behind the manager and behind the players and generate this siege mentality. But I also agree that, some of the football's been crap. But I like the acknowledgement from Solskjaer in the post-game press conference where he acknowledges it as well and says we're not ready. And he's talking about transfers there as well. I do want to get into your comments though. Mark, we conceded 20 goals less last season as compared to the season before. That's a significant improvement. Credit has to go to Ollie and the coaching staff, says Mojo. Red Ballon, I can't feel positive about that game. It was a disgrace of a performance and I like to see better performance and I'm not even Ollie out, says... and Carship says, I feel people have forgotten how stability can improve the team and jump at every chance to change everything, says Carship. And also, agree 100%, they play for Ollie. That PE teacher is our only hope on returning pride to our club. Just don't understand some decisions today. Ollie in. I agree. I didn't understand some of the decisions today. We need Badiashile or Upamecano over Tellez. Badiashile, Sancho and Van der Beek is a great window. Maybe even a young defensive midfielder, says James. Does your inside guy know why the board always stops supporting the coach in the third transfer window? That's just naive and short-term thinking, says Till. And Jordan Search, hi Mark, I agree with you on the board. They are not good enough for the club. We can all agree on that. But when it comes to being backed, Poch without any signings got Spurs to a Champions League final and the coaching needs to be judged, says Jordan Search. Mate, the Pochettino thing you'll get me to bite on. Irrelevant point, Mark, says Michael Addo. He's the manager and the team isn't playing well. He should be blamed and no one else. He confirms the tactics and selects the players. Okay, Michael, let's start diving into it. I want to dive into it. I can take this. So it's an irrelevant point. He's the manager and the team needs to be judged. Okay, let's judge the team then. 10 wins, 5 draws, 1 loss in the last 16 Premier League games. When you do the league based on that, we're in the top 3. Let's judge him then. You think we're a top 2 side, do you? I'm ready to laugh. We are the 3rd best team in the Premier League. Proven, factual, evidential. So that's not an irrelevant point. We haven't got. I don't care who manages this team. I don't care whether it's Jurgen Klopp, Pep Guardiola, some love child they have together through some scientific experiment. I don't care who the manager of Manchester United is. Sir Alex Ferguson in his prime is not getting that team to 2nd or 1st. So you tell me I'm making an irrelevant point, and you say that the manager isn't playing well and should be blamed. We're the 3rd best team in England. Fact. Come back at it. I get that we want the pie and eat it. We want to play good football. I get that. I'm on board with that. I get that Lindelof shouldn't have played today. I get that, Pogba shouldn't have played today. I get it. I get all of that. But I also get the fact that we are the 3rd best team in England. And look, all right, we're not at the moment in the Premier League. We've played a game less. We've lost 1. We've won 1. But we are the 3rd best team in England. And we will not be any better than that, no matter who the coach is, unless the board back the manager. And this manager's not going anywhere, so he needs to be backed. And what are you all going to do when we sign Jadon Sancho? Are you going to start moaning after every game? Oh, I didn't like that pass. I didn't like that team selection. I know we won, but I didn't like it. I mean, I don't know what your plan is. I suppose that's the point of the video. I want to understand what your point is. What is your end game? What is your end game? Because I'm telling you now, you're just bringing a lot of. I feel sorry for you. Like I say, you're bringing on a lot of anger and stress for yourself, and you're not gonna. What's your end game? Do you think Ollie Out's really gonna get going? It won't. It won't. Ollie Out won't get going. You need to if you want Ollie Out, you need to understand your football club. The Red Army, Manchester fans, people who've supported United for years and years, they won't turn against this manager. Not unless we lose like 20 games in a row. They're not going to. A lot did up until January, and then they saw Bruno Fernandes came in, and they saw actually if you give Ollie what he wants, he can do a job here. He can build something. We get to the summer, Bruno gets his 3rd place. He wants Jadon Sancho. He doesn't get him. We start the season badly. Most people can see that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer with the right players can make things happen. He's not been backed. And that's the mindset of a good percentage of the fan. Not all of them. I know some of you want to be Ollie Out, but I'm telling you, what are you going to do if we sign Sancho and we start playing well? Are you going to go, oh, I'm Ollie in now? Maybe be Ollie in anyway, Maybe just get behind the club. And maybe focus your anger on where it needs to be focused on, which to me and many people is the evidence that Mourinho, Van Gaal and maybe Ollie at some point will lose their job if they don't get backed in this critical 3rd season. Irrelevant, I've read that one. Sir Alex took 5 years to turn United around, and look what he did. Give Ollie time, says Jeffrey. There's no point sacking Ollie when Glazers are the ones getting away season in, season out, says Mo Ali. And I think that's a very good point as well. I do not think that the Glazers have the right to sack Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I don't want them. I don't think they've got the right to sack another manager. I'm strong on that. We are the 3rd best team in the league. You give him the praise, and if the team isn't playing well, you want to blame McLaren and Carrick. My point, says Michael. I don't know who McKerkeren is. And Mark, you clearly don't know football. Ollie has PE tactics. Man United needs a serious manager like Bob Bradley or David Moyes. It says David Moyes is the guy. I thought you were being serious then, but I like the banter. I really do. Dan James is going to leave the club, by the way. I thought I should have brought that in a little bit earlier with the Jadon Sancho thing. Dan James is going to leave Manchester United. Not even on the bench today, so he's going to go. I don't know whether it will be a loan. They might do a loan, but they're going to let him go, and I think it's a shame. But again, this comes down to the Glazers and Ed Woodward, because I don't think we want to let Dan James go. I don't think many of us want Dan James to go. But United need to get some money in, and they can't get rid of the players they want to get rid of. What do you feel is Ollie's weak spot? I feel like it's in-game management, subs, sensing danger and reacting with tactical changes. Bench presence, says Nick P. I think, you know what, Nick? I watched that game today. That first 45 minutes, we couldn't string a pass together. I don't care whether you have got Pullis tactics, Moyes tactics, Pep tactics. When your players are not match sharp and they're not making simple passes, that's nothing to do with the training ground. I coach a team, under 10s. I coach, I've played in a pub team. I've played, before a game, you get a ball and you're passing it around in triangles. In a training session, you're doing your little drills. In a football match, it's different. People say, well, what are they doing? What are they doing on the coaching ground, playing on the phones? They'll do everything that most clubs are doing. when you go on a football pitch against the competitive opposition, it's different to drills. It's obviously it is. Practicing is different. It's like practicing for an exam. When the exam comes, it's different. I watched that first half today, as I'm sure many of you do, because you know football. A lot of you know football better than me. And you know, whether it's Luke Shaw, Nemanja Matic, or the crapper players like Wan-Bissaka, Pogba, and others, nobody could string a pass together. And a couple of times that we did it in the second half and a couple of times in the first half, we looked like a decent side. I saw Greenwood, Martial, Rashford, Bruno do it a couple of times, but it was so hard to get any momentum because the passing is just not there. And that's match sharpness. It is match sharpness, and we haven't got it yet. And, you know, people can moan about why we haven't got it. For me, we haven't got it because we're not prepared. And we're not prepared because we've had a shit break between the end of the season and the start of the season. It will come. It will come, and then I think you'll be able to judge the tactics better. I don't think you can really judge the tactics that much at the moment because I just think we're a dishevelled team and our fitness levels are not the same. And when I'm talking about fitness levels, you know, when a team's played 4 competitive matches and you've played 2, they're gonna at the start of the season they're gonna be like that. But yeah, you know, it's all about opinion, isn't it? That's why I want to do this show. I want to understand. I don't want us arguing. I don't want us to argue. I want us to be all on the same page. I want us to be behind the players, behind the manager. I want us to get these signings done, and I want us to be, you know, up for it. And I want us to be aware of why we're here. I don't want us to be arguing about managers and players. My mate Rory is Ollie out. He thinks he has no tactics and a loss versus Palace. What do you think? Love the content, by the way, says Ease. Again, I've got to be honest, I think people who say he's got no tactics really expose themselves as having football naivety, because you might not like the tactics, but he's got tactics, definitely. I know what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's tactics are. They go back to Mulder, they go back to Cardiff. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer likes to play out from the back, he likes to split his centre-backs, he likes to play in triangles, he likes to play a high press, and he likes to move the ball quickly from back to front. That is his methodology. He is not a part-of-the-bus manager, although he's had to do it at times. He is not a hoofball manager. That is the way he wants to play. Now, getting those players to do it is the main thing. But to say he's got no tactics is ridiculous. It's absolutely. I've seen Ole Gunnar Solskjaer on the training ground. I've seen him training players. He's an intelligent man. He is. He was an intelligent player. He reads a game very, very well. Doesn't mean he's going to be successful at Manchester United, I agree. But to say he's got no tactics, it doesn't move the conversation on. I'll delve into it and I'll talk about man management and I'll talk about, you know, bad team selections. I accept that. But, you know, I've seen Sir Alex Ferguson start Luke Chadwick over David Beckham. You know, and he's the greatest manager there's ever been. I've seen Sir Alex Ferguson sign Jemba Jemba. So, you know, I said this after the match reaction, this perfect football team that people talk about. I've seen Manchester United play dog shit with Roy Keane, Gary Neville, Paul Scholes, Ryan Giggs. I've seen United play dog shit and win 1-0. I've seen us lose with those players. I've seen us get wiped the floor with by Newcastle and Southampton under Sir Alex Ferguson. I've seen bad results. I think there is, I don't know whether it's a modern phenomenon, but I think that there is this, I don't know, people call it the FIFA generation, whatever you want to call it. Maybe there is this feeling that, you know, Liverpool play well every game and they're the best team in England. They don't. I've seen Liverpool play Sheffield United. When Wijnaldum's hit a shot, Henderson should save it. He bobbles in, they win 1-0. You know, every team doesn't play well every game. But it seems to me that fans want to be critical about every single game. Ollie is clueless. Poch will get the best of the dead players. Manny's playing Pogba as a DM. The tactics are crap. United were lucky to finish first, says Star Wars Galaxy. Really think Sancho and Telles will make a big difference in the team like what happened at Everton, says Jordan M. Hi Mark, Bruno won us the game. We all need to be cheerful. Let's sing. There was something in the air the night. The stars were bright. Fernandes, says Schrader. I mean, Fernandes is amazing, isn't he? I actually got some stick this week when I said that Bruno Fernandes is Manchester United's most important player. The Pogba brigade were like, well, he's talking out his arse. Pogba's miles better. Pogba's a better talent than Bruno, but you know what? The best talent isn't always the best player for the team. Bruno Fernandes, since he's come into that side, has been a bloody revelation. I don't even think he played well today. He put the cross in to win for the first goal. He played the ball to get Rashford in, which was exquisite. And then with a pressure penalty, he scores one of the best penalties I've seen. I just think Bruno Fernandes is the captain. And what did he say after the game? I was frustrated we weren't aggressive enough. He talks like a bloody captain. I'd give him the captain's armband. I think Bruno Fernandes is just unbelievable. He's so important to us. Please smash a like on the video, by the way. Let's see if we can get 3,000 likes while we're live. Hi, Mark. What's happening with Alex Telles? And are we going to get a centre-back? We need one ASAP. I don't think we're going to get a centre-back, Sanj. I've said that before. I think we will get Telles, but, you know, we've been there before with Reguilon. Whether Sancho comes or not, he certainly doesn't want this Wan-Bissaka to assist him, says Akil. Wan-Bissaka will be fine. Wan-Bissaka will be fine. Paul Pogba will be fine. Like, they are just nowhere near match fit. They are behind the others. I don't know what the story is with Wan-Bissaka. There was this thing that he was in Dubai, but Wan-Bissaka is miles off. I don't know whether it's a confidence thing. He finished the season badly. He started the season even worse. He's miles off. But remember the Wan-Bissaka of the first 7 months. He was one of the best right-backs in Europe. And at the moment, he's playing terrible. His positional sense, he was at fault for both goals. Like, he was pissing about with it at right back. They switched the penalty. And then and then on the goal, his positional sense was just awful. But he'll get back. He'll get back. Liverpool dominated that game, Mark. That's the difference, says RN. And it's difficult. So we're comparing ourselves to Liverpool again now, are we? You're not listening to yourself. You're trying to compare Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to Klopp and Pep when both those managers had been fully backed by their board for a start. You know, stop trying to compare us to teams that we're nowhere near, no matter who our manager is. Compare us to Chelsea. I tell you what, compare us to Chelsea, compare us to Arsenal, compare us to Spurs. That's the level we're at. Because I can already tell you now, Chelsea have lost a game, drawn a game and won a game. They beat Brighton and Brighton played better than Chelsea. I watched that game. It was a very good win for Chelsea, but Brighton played better and deserved something out of the game, just like they did today against us. West Brom, how do you blow a 3-0 lead? But they got a 3-0 lead and Chelsea didn't win. Chelsea, Man United, Arsenal, Spurs, the way this season's going, Liverpool are going to be dominant again, Man City will be second, and we're all going to be where we are. Comparing Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to Klopp and Pep is irrelevant. We haven't got the squad, we haven't got the players, we're nowhere near them. And we haven't done the progress to even start that. How can you compare us to Liverpool, who we finished 30-something points behind, and they've had a better window than us? How can we compare ourselves to Liverpool when the gap was like that before the season started, and it's now like that because they bought better players? We've not backed this manager. Don't compare us to Liverpool. Don't ever compare us to Liverpool until we start buying some players to close the gap on Liverpool. It's difficult to get back to a very high level after a holiday. The dip is massive when you go away, so when you come back, it takes a while to get back, says Ads. The game against Spurs next week, to me, is the acid test. That is the game, and that is why I think United need to get the signings done this week. I know the transfer window closes the day after, but you really need Sancho and Telles in for next week. We need the boost of the signings. We need the boost of the training ground. We need the boost over the next week of the fitness levels. That is a massive game against Spurs next week. And you know what? The chances we gave away against Brighton, with all due respect, Son, Kane, and everybody else, they'll take those chances. So next week is the big game. You know, if we get beat 3-0, the question, you know, it's only going to get worse. I'm not sure Ollie will be our long-term answer. However, the stars aligned last season and he got third. He deserves the backing in the transfer window, says Twisted. Look, you know, many people feel about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as well, just to be a bit fair here. Many people feel about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer that he won't win the title with us. He's more of a custodian. He's there to steady the ship, to rebuild the club, take us to a point and then go. And I've got no problem with that. I hope he's going to be the next title winner of Manchester United, but he might just be a manager that steadies the ship, gets the club back on track. You know, we are doing more with the youth. There seems to be more of an identity back. Maybe that's what he's going to do. Ollie gave me one of the best moments of my life. I will back until the very end. Few people understand this. He just needs the right tools, says Nick P. Can't we play Pogba as DM? He plays deep now anyway and has a great long ball. Donny and Bruno ahead of him with energy and skill will boss the midfield, says Core. And Lindelof looks as lost as a fat kid in the veggie aisle. How does he make the starting lineup? How is he even a Man United player, says Aidan G. You know what? The defence, I said it in my match reaction, the defence is a huge problem at Manchester United. It really is. You know, I don't care what anybody says. It really is. And I'm still here, by the way. But it is. The defence is a joke. Absolute joke. And, you know, I gave Harry Maguire a 7 today because I thought his leadership to get the goal at the end was fantastic. But they every time they attacked us, I thought they were going to score. Mark, who did you make of Ricky saying Bruno was a disgrace for the last half an hour? What is it with the Bruno agenda when Pogba was worth to Salah Ahmed? I mean, I don't know what Ricky's talking about there. I mean, look, he's never really been a big fan of Bruno, has he? So I can't say much more than that. But I think Bruno is really, really important. And I don't want to go any more than that. Whatever you think about Bruno, that penalty, I said it before he took it. I saw Jorginho miss last week, and Jorginho never misses. And it's funny that when Bruno stepped up, he didn't do the little jump. He just hit it brilliantly. I think that the lead. You can say what you like about Bruno Fernandes, but that's leadership. That is leadership. The pressure was. When have you ever known that? I've never known that happen. The game was over, and the referee got it right. By the way, it would have been a total injustice if he'd blown the whistle and said, "I can't review the VAR decision." He's got to review it. But what you end up with there is the game's over. It's 2-2, and there's a penalty. That penalty is the difference between a draw and 3 points. When does that ever happen? There's a massive amount of pressure on there. It's like a spot kick, isn't it, in a penalty shootout? So, and he just banged it in. I think people are sleeping on the pressure on that penalty. I thought it was absolutely amazing. Welcome to the Members Club, Aiden G. Really, really pleased about that. Thanks for joining the Members Club, by the way. Can we play a diamond in the midfield, says Devasha. Look, I ain't worried about Paul Pogba. Paul Pogba is a fantastic player, and to me, Paul Pogba is just not anywhere near match fit. I thought he was dreadful today, but I did keep saying it. Paul Pogba was dreadful today, but that wasn't Paul Pogba today. It was nowhere near Paul Pogba today, and that's a fact. It just wasn't Paul Pogba. So there you go. I just want to talk about Poch. Welcome to the Members Club, Alec Nichols. Thanks everyone who's joining the Members Club, by the way. Got something really exciting coming up with that. You're going to have a lot of fun with that in the next couple of weeks. Hopefully next week. But thanks for joining. You get a little members badge next to your name. What was I going to say? Can I just say, Pochettino, why does everybody want Pochettino as the manager? Have you ever watched Pochettino as a manager? Because I've watched lots of Pochettino as a manager. And I like Pochettino as a manager. But anybody who watches this channel, and welcome to Suraf Sahar, when Pochettino's been mentioned as a manager for Manchester United, I've said it's interesting, but it worries me. He doesn't use the width. He doesn't use wingers. He plays very centrally. It's almost like a 4-2-2-2. He doesn't use the width. And that Manchester United for the last 60 years has been a team that is about the width. It's in our DNA. DNA, it is. Also, Pochettino is very stubborn with his tactics. He doesn't like to change it, and he doesn't like substitutions. And the third thing, Pochettino's style of football is not fast-flowing, and it is not necessarily entertaining on the eye. So I'm not saying Pochettino wouldn't be a success at Manchester United. But what I am saying is, I can see if it doesn't go wrong, if it doesn't go right quickly, he will just end up the same way as every other manager, with you lot becoming frustrated with him, because actually there's a lot of hints. This is a manager who said about winning trophies just generates egos, and it's not necessarily a good thing, or something along those lines. I don't know what the Pochettino thing is. He really is an example of the grass is not always greener. People talk like he's bloody Klopp. Like, if you want to bring Klopp in, you can somehow get Klopp. I hate to say it, but I've never said this about a Liverpool manager, but I think Klopp's amazing. I do. I think, I thought it for a long time. His personality, his passion, his planning, the way he gets his team playing for him, the way he gets his team playing. I'd love Klopp to turn his back on Liverpool and come to United. He'd probably be one of the... I would never say this. I don't want Van Dijk at United. I don't want Salah at United. You've played for Liverpool. But if Klopp, I respect Klopp that much. If he said, always been my dream to manage Manchester United, and let's talk. Never going to happen, by the way, and it just shows my respect for him. But Poch, he ain't on that level. And his football's not on that level. And his stubbornness is an issue. So, and he doesn't use the width. So, I'm just saying, the Poch thing is interesting, but I don't think it's anywhere near a guaranteed success route. I think it's just some people will just take anything. Ollie created the defensive issue. We all knew he wasn't going to work with Maguire, and we still got him. Goalkeeper situation, midfield, says Fred. Welcome to the Members Club, Natty, and also welcome to Leo, latest members of the club. Thank you. Nagelsmann's interesting. His style of football is interesting, yeah. Arjen KI. I also think, you know, maybe the Ajax coach would be interesting. I mean, it doesn't have to be. Doesn't have to be a household name for me. Amazing how some people rather not win just to suit their agendas, says Julian. The club is Manchester United, not Ole Gunnar Solskjaer United. Support the club on the pitch always. I just, you know, I really do think it's sad that there were people out there who just didn't celebrate. I just think, I just feel sad for them. I feel sad. I feel really sad. Look, I'll hold my hands up. That's a game we should win. That's Brighton. You know, I get that rival clubs are going to laugh at my goal reaction to it. I get that. But you can only live the moment. And I've just been, you know, you saw me. I was like literally down in my chair. I was like, I can't believe it. I can't believe we've blown this game. You know, when it matters, doesn't it? When it really matters to you, it matters. And I think, you know, you saw that on the watch along. It matters to me and it matters to a lot of you. I know we played shit today, and I know Brighton didn't deserve to lose. But when you're going to get 3 points, I've always been a big advocate of this, and you know it, and many of you would agree. If you can win when you play badly, you're onto a right thing. I've seen it. I've seen it year after year after year with Sir Alex, and I've seen it with Mourinho, and I've seen it with Klopp. You know, you win titles because you win games badly. You win when you don't deserve to win. We didn't deserve to win today. We played awful today. And whether there's mitigating circumstances or not, we didn't deserve to win today. But that doesn't mean when Brighton get a late equaliser, you go, wow, well done. That's totally what they deserved. You don't. You go, I was on the floor. I was gutted because it matters. To go from like, we've absolutely bottled this, we've blown it, to 30 seconds later, a penalty to win it, and then that penalty goes in. I'm sorry if I nearly lost my voice, but I'm not sorry. To me, that's one of the best things that's happened since PSG. And look, ultimately, PSG meant, you know, I must just say this as well. If you didn't celebrate today and you're desperate for us to lose games because you have this idea that the manager's going to change soon when he's not going to get changed soon. I'll tell you that now, whether you want it or not, it's not going to happen. What I would say to you is the last time this happened was PSG. That wasn't even a quarter-final of the Champions League. We didn't deserve to win that game either. We all celebrated madly. We didn't deserve to win that game. We parked the bus, we got a penalty and we won. The very next round, we got our arse handed on a plate by Barcelona and we were out. Next week, we might get our arse handed on a plate against Spurs. So, you know, if you didn't celebrate today, maybe next week you'll get what you really want, which is United losing games. I can't understand that. I can't understand that. I think, and I feel sorry for you. I think it's very, very sad that you are that involved in whatever it is that you want, that you don't really celebrate Man United winning games in that way. But I don't apologise for it. I think it was, I can't wait to watch Match of the Day again. I just loved it. I loved the emotion of it. This is why I love this game, you know, in the words of Patrice, I do. But I do want to understand and I do want to help people. I know that sounds quite sarcastic and arrogant, but I want to understand where the hate comes from. I want to understand why we're focusing on the manager when, you know, Mourinho was let down by like this. Van Gaal was let down by this, and now Ollie's being let down by like this, and yet you want to let this board sack another manager. I don't think they have the right. I don't want them to sack the manager. I want them to go. I don't want. They've got no right to sack another manager so that they can stay and do the same thing again in 3 years to Poch or whoever else comes in. I don't think they've got the right to do it, and I just think that as a fan base, we should be focused on the real issue here. That Mourinho got us to second, they didn't back him and he had to be sacked. That Van Gaal didn't get backing and had to be sacked. And now Ollie is in a situation where he's got his third, he's got in the Champions League and they haven't backed him. And is he heading towards the sack? At what point are we going to wake up to what's really going on? You know, every player in this team back Ollie and we should be lucky to see a manager and players getting along well. Most clubs are not that fortunate, even as under Jose. So outsiders saying Ollie out is just irrelevant, says Akil. And welcome to the Members Club, Dominic Vega, and also to Sin Games. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'm looking forward to the Sunday night show tomorrow, actually. We've got some good guests, and I'm hoping to make a transfer signing, a blast from the past. So watch out for that. Sally Double Red 7 says, smash the like button, everyone. We're very close to 3,000 likes, by the way, so please smash a like on the video. And actually, the reason I went on my phone before, we don't normally get this, except for on a watch-along, but it's quite a nice thing. We are 10 subscribers away from 847,000. So please subscribe, bottom right-hand corner if you're new. We only need 10 to change that number. Let's be the real boards going nowhere. We need a top-class manager that can perform better, says Rovan. Let's be real. You're naive, Rovan. We've had a top-class manager. It was Jose Mourinho. I get tired of telling you this. Name me a manager that will succeed under that board, and I'll call you a liar. Won't happen. If you're going to sit there and go, the board's going nowhere, so let's sack another manager, the Glazers are probably at this moment smiling. Like that's why they win. That's why they win. Oh, let's leave the Glazers because they're not going anywhere and sack a manager. You know what that's like? That's like one person who stands up to a dictatorship, right? The dictatorship is evil and one person stands up to them. That's like you walking along and punching the person who stands up to them and saying, because basically, you can't do anything on your own against them. One good person against that evil can't do anything. Punch the good person because we can't do anything against the evil. That's what that sounds like to me. Got an evil dictatorship here and one good person trying to do it on their own. Oh, let's punch the person who's doing it on their own because they've got no chance against them anyway. I don't get that mentality. I don't. JDip, welcome to the members club. I see no reason why Ollie should not be playing Bailly instead of Lindelof. Bailly is far better, says Edwin. I agree. Look, I'm not going to not agree with you on things like, you know, Bailly should have started today. Pogba shouldn't have started today. I agree on both of those things. Because I agree on those things, and I think Ollie got that wrong, and I think McTominay last week he got wrong, but maybe he did it because McTominay was way more fitter than Fred and Matic. I don't know. I think Pogba should have come off at half-time today. I don't think we should have gone to a back five. I think Wan-Bissaka should have come off and maybe put Eric Bailly at right back or Fosu Mensah. I disagree on I agree on mistakes. Mistakes were made, but I'll tell you what. I'll show you where Pep makes mistakes. I'll show you where Klopp makes mistakes, where Lampard makes mistakes, where Mourinho makes mistakes, where Arteta makes mistakes. They all make mistakes. Doesn't mean you have to be Ollie out. Oh, we didn't pick Bailly. Ollie out. And that's what it feels like to me a little bit at times, if I'm honest. I didn't see all this when we were finishing third, 2 months ago. I didn't see all this Ollie out stuff when we were winning games, blasting Bournemouth 5-2 from 1-0 behind, when we were blasting Brighton 3-0, when we were, when we somehow got into the third spot from being nowhere near third. I didn't see all this Ollie out stuff then. I just heard nothing except positivity. We played 2 games of a new season and I'm hearing Ollie out. And I'm like, hold on a minute. He's not had the players he wants. The team's nowhere near fit. I don't get it. And I still don't get it. And I don't know whether I am going to get it. I think I've just got to respect it. I think, ultimately, as a fan channel, that's what we've got to do. As a community, that's what we've got to do. And I will search. I will try to keep understanding it, even though I don't agree with it. But I've got to say, I'm a little bit. I'm struggling with it a lot because in our last 16 Premier League games, we've lost 1. That's not the form of sacking a manager. I'm sorry, it's not. And as I said, I don't know where you're going with it because it's not going anywhere. It's not even a conversation within the board or Manchester United. And also, as I said last week, it just dilutes the argument. When you start seeing Ollie hate on social media, it takes away from where the real frustration should be aimed. It should be Glazers. It should be get Sancho done. Why didn't it happen? Why is Tellez not happened yet? Why are we not getting a centre-back? Keep the great work up, mate. The board needs to get the fingers out their arse and get Ollie who he wants. No matter manager could do great without the backing, says Michael Venkins. Thank you very much. Welcome to Jay Bloom, latest member of the United Stand Members Club. It's funny how you keep defending Ollie, says Fred. Well, it's funny how I keep defending the manager of my football club that I love. Yeah, it's hysterical. Really is. I'd like to know why you don't. Mark, difference with Klopp. Pep is they are allowed to make mistakes because of their CV. Ollie doesn't deserve this backing, says Happy Ooh. So he doesn't deserve backing having lost 1 game in the last 16 Premier League games. Okay. Welcome to the Members Club, Ami Adi. Thank you very much. Look, I'm really grateful that people are chucking up the reasons, but I haven't found one yet that makes me go, I want Glazers out and not Ollie out, says Sahil. But let me just tell you this. And Jan, I'm far from triggered. I'm doing a show like I've done for the last 5 years, and I'm trying to understand some of our community. I'm not triggered. I know Solskjaer's not getting the sack. I know how happy I am that we've won a game. I know how happy I am to watch Match of the Day later. And I know how happy we're going to be over the next few days when we buy the players that you want to happen. I'm happy. I want you to be happy. I feel sorry for you people who are not happy and irrational in some ways, I think. But, you know, we're a community. I'm trying to understand. I've not seen anything to make me understand yet. But on a positive, as I started the show with, speaking to my guy today, Jadon Sancho to Manchester United is inevitable. And imagine what that's going to do to us this week. I mean, we've got the game against Brighton midweek. I'm sure we'll see a lot of the reserves. Got Spurs a week tomorrow, which is huge. Mourinho versus Oli part 3. We've beat him once. We've drawn with him. What's next? And, you know, if we can get a couple of signings in, if the fitness levels go up a little bit, that's going to be a cracking game. Absolutely cracking. So, look, I feel there's some positivity to build this week. And the onus is on the club, not Ollie, to build that positivity, because we're still waiting to really start the season. And that's the sentence that resonates for me the most. We haven't even started this season yet. These last 2 games have almost been pre-season games. Right, we've got 3 points and we dropped 3 points. But right there, you claim you want to understand, yet you've ridiculed what you haven't agreed with, says Southpaw Love Spurs. But I haven't ridiculed anything. Somebody said to me, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer doesn't deserve to be manager of United, and I've just said he's lost 1 game in 16. That's not ridicule, that's fact. It's not ridiculing anybody. Everything I've said tonight and everything everybody has said in the chats about supporting the manager has been backed up with facts. I haven't really seen anything from an Ollie outer that I can say, yeah, I agree with that or I understand it. Doesn't mean they're not wrong. Doesn't mean I'm right. I'm just saying it's not ridicule. 16 Premier League games, 10 wins, 5 draws, 1 loss. Is that the form of somebody that needs to be sacked? No. Not under any club. Even bloody Abramovich wouldn't sack someone for that. You can't sack somebody for that. Right there, I want Ollie to be the next Sir Alex and believe he is the best manager for us, being part of the United history. Look at the Glazers if you have problems with United, says Gordon Murray. So we need new signings to beat bottom 5 teams. Let's be realistic, Mark, says Fred. Well, no, you don't need new signings to beat bottom 5 sides, because Chelsea didn't beat West Brom today, who are heading straight back to the Championship. So I don't know what you're talking about, Fred. Stop patronising us. We don't want Ollie. Stop forcing us to like Ollie. Get him out, says Happy Ooh. Thanks for the super chat, mate. Maybe readdress your own thoughts and have courage in your conviction. If you think I'm persuading you to be Ollie in, then you're obviously a bit shaky on being Ollie out, aren't you? And sit down, you haters, and back Ollie. Judge the performances after Ollie's been backed. Love the show, Mark. Keep it up, says Alec Nichols. Thanks for the super chat there, mate. Obviously, some of these people who are not happy don't like it when you know we have an open debate about it. All we're trying to do is understand where this is coming from. 2 games into the season, 1 loss in 16 Premier League games, 3rd in the league, no backing in the transfer window, half the team not fit, and Ollie out's a thing. I don't understand it. I'm sorry, that's not patronising. I don't understand it. Make me understand it. I don't understand it. I genuinely don't. I'm not telling you not to do it. I genuinely don't understand it. PE teacher, Ollie the Wally. I think, if I'm absolutely honest, it shows a lack of football knowledge. It really does, because I don't understand it. And people will say, well, you don't understand football. Well, I do. I've watched football. I've played football at a decent level. I've coached football. But I'm telling you now, 1 loss in 16 Premier League games under no managerial chairman or anything gets you the sack. It just doesn't. It's a prediction. It's a feeling. If you're Ollie out, you don't like the way we play football and you think it's going to get worse. I get that. I get that. I can get on board with that. But where are you going with this? Like, do you want us to lose so you're proven right? Or are you actually genuinely saying, let's sack the manager now? Because I've never heard anything more ridiculous than let's sack a manager now after what he's just done in very recent history. So for me, are you not celebrating because you want us to lose so you can be proved right that he's not good enough? Or are you wanting us to win but don't think he's good enough? I don't know. I don't understand. That's all I'm saying. I don't understand what it's about. Is it a movement? Is it a feeling? I don't know. I genuinely don't know. And I want to know, because this is what we are as a community, isn't it? And I want to understand. Jose has been backed more at Spurs than Ollie has at United, to be fair, and Ollie got his Champions League. Jose didn't get Spurs Champions League. We get Champions League, then do sod all in the window, says Jordan Such. But, you know, I go back to this again. this is not even just about Ollie for me. This is why I think the blame always has to be apportioned to the Glazers and Woodward, etc. Jose Mourinho got us to finish second. We spent that summer saying, we've got to build on that. We finished second, we've got to build on that. We didn't build on that, and he was gone by Christmas. He didn't get backed, and he was gone by Christmas. So it's not a new thing. A lot of people wanted Mourinho out then. A lot of people backed Mourinho. Are we about to see the same thing again, where the Glazers get off the hook? All I remember that December, the season started, Mourinho didn't get backed. We had a bad start to the season. We lost to West Ham. That's when I became Mourinho out. And then we spent the next 3 months just wanting the manager to go. At no time in that 3 months did I hear Glazers out. I think Gary Neville said it. He went mad. He said it needs to be the top. And he was right. He was right. Gary Neville was right. Because that 3 months between the start of the season and December, we were all Mourinho out. There was no Glazers. There was no Woodward. It was all Mourinho. And it was wrong. Mourinho deserved to be sacked. I agree. The football wasn't good. And the results were terrible. And that's what will lead to a sacking. But none of us were Glazers out. And here we are again. A couple of years later. Another manager's not been backed after a good season. And are we heading towards bad results and another Ollie out? And that's what I'm trying to get across. I'm trying to say this is not about Ollie. Jose went the same way. Van Gaal went the same way. And throughout that time, as the momentum grew against the manager, it never went where it needed to be on the board. It went on the manager, and I think that's sad. Right there, you claim you want to understand, yet you've ridiculed what you haven't agreed with, says Southpaw Love Sports. It's not ridicule, mate. You really don't understand conversation. Mark, I'm not against Ollie being sacked. However, we really do need better preparation. We don't press properly. Our tempo just drops during matches, says Sonny Shepherd. Yeah, but you know what, Sonny? I'm not saying you're wrong. But I can already see it in the live comments in the next couple of minutes. We're not fit. Even Ollie said we're not ready. So I think you've got to wait on that one. I think you've got to wait on that one for 3 or 4 games when we get our fitness levels back and then come back to it. I'm not saying you're wrong, but everyone's talking about us not being match fit at the moment. So are those levels going to be there? I'm not Ali out for now because he's not the biggest issue, says Mustafa. It's hard to defend him when he doesn't drop the likes of Lindelof and Pogba when they're massively underperforming. Hashtag Glazers out. Also, I'm not Ali out anymore because I know the problems are worse. As critical as I am, I want them to be known, to Southpaw Love Sports. Cheers, pal. Thanks for the great content, Mark. Nice of you to address the fools who don't like to hear a different opinion than their own. Hope Ole Gunnar will succeed at the club he loves, says Ola. Well, I'm not calling them fools. I'm not going to do that. Look, this is the United Stand. This community is important, and it's important. I want everyone to get on. I don't want everyone to agree, but I want people to get on. So I'm not going to call people foolish for being Ollie out. But I personally don't understand it. I mean, there was a brilliant video that we did after mine this afternoon where Flex had it on and there was, Junior was basically saying Ollie's got no clue. And I watched it and I really enjoyed it, So I don't disagree. I do disagree, but it doesn't mean I don't understand it. Some people just don't understand. I think that we are doing well because we did not have a pre-season. Half the team is not yet fit, says Eddie J. It's boring hearing let's sack the manager. It will be old news soon as we make him the Sancho deal. That's football, unfortunately, says Gaz Hardy. And what has he not done? He has gotten the team playing for him. No murmurs of any dressing room unrest. He's got his Champions League football. We've played some of the best football since Sir Alex Ferguson. He gave us Paris. He understands the club like no other, says Nakul. And that's nice to hear. That's nice to hear. I think fans are the lifeblood of football, whoever you support. But the most important fans are Manchester United fans. And I just want us as fans to not fall out. I don't want that. I don't want that. I think it divides us. It makes us weaker. It makes our voice weaker. I want us to get on. I want us to understand each other, and that's what I want. I'm not trying to make you Ollie in. That's not what I'm trying to do because that's my opinion. If you are Ollie out, what I'm saying is, are you not causing yourself an issue because it's not going to happen? Is it not a little bit irrational to be Ollie out? Maybe Ollie skeptic is where you should be. I understand Ollie skeptic. There's things that he does that makes me skeptical. But Ollie out doesn't make any sense to me at this moment for many reasons. For primarily, he's not been backed and the board are more important. Also, he got us Champions League football. We're only two Premier League games into a new season. He's lost 1 game in 16. Since Bruno's been in, I think we've been a very good side at times, mainly. We're not fit yet. I just think there's Ollie skeptic is fine. Ollie out to me, it doesn't make any sense. But we've had the conversation, and I think we move on to different things now. And look, I think we're going to move on to a very positive week, by the way, off the pitch. I think you're going to get this inevitable deal by the sounds of it, which I've always been confident that we would do. And I think we desperately need it. And I think Manchester United, as a club and as a PR and as a marketing and everything like that, they need to get these deals done because we need that positivity. And what I would say is, Lindelof had a way better stats last season than Maguire. Why not play Lindelof and Bays, says Carl. I think that's a fair point. Would you be willing to finish mid-table for a while, as I think that's what would happen to do another rebuild if the owners left, says Bradley Fricker. Well, look, I don't think the owners are going to go anywhere. But what I want to say this is, watch Match of the Day tonight. I'm going to go and watch a bit of Batman, Dark Knight Rises. I've got to finish that. And then I'm going to watch Match of the Day because just enjoy that. As a Manchester United, forget everything else. Even forget the Glazers. Forget Sancho. Forget the tactics. Just for a few minutes, watch Manchester United Football Club, the club you love, do what they did today. Because you won't see it happen for a very long time. I don't think it's ever happened that at the end of a game. Just watch the moment. Watch the thing that you got into football for. The thing that you fell in love with. The actual game and Manchester United Football Club. Watch that game back with a smile on your face. Forget everything else. Therapy. Watch it back. Enjoy those last few minutes. I'm getting goosebumps now. And enjoy it. Don't overthink it. There's loads of things you're right about. Tactics, selections, performances. But just watch it back with a smile on your face. Your football club. On the lowest low, dropping it. And then grabbing it again and getting the win. In those circumstances. And the brilliance of that penalty from Bruno. Who for me is our real captain. Thanks everyone for watching. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe if you're new. We'll be back in the morning. And look. Let's stick together. Look, we might not agree, I get that, but let's stick together. We're stronger together as a fan base. Let's stick together. Let's work through this together. Because I don't actually believe that any of you would turn your nose up at Manchester United having a title challenge this season, going deep into the Champions League, playing some good football under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I don't think any of you are that agenda driven that you want us to lose no matter what. Thanks for watching. I'll speak to you all soon. Stay safe.